Hello, welcome! My name is Sean, and this is my e-portfolio. I want to thank you very much for showing interest, and I hope you'd like to join me as we take some time and go through the highlights. Now before we really begin, I thought I'd break down just how to use this e-portfolio. Over here on the left, we have our chapters, and over here on the right, we have our pages. Once you have finished the pages top to bottom, you can move on to the next chapter. We'll be starting right here with the introduction page. Over here, that's me, a little current modern day picture of me. Underneath that is a blurb of my time throughout high school, all the way up to the point where I enrolled at Santa Fe College. Underneath that is my time through Santa Fe College, up through the near future where I'm finally hired. But to do that, I need goals. Career objectives and goals. Now these career objectives are those major goals that I can look back on in my life and I can say, ah yes, this is what has made me successful. And these goals, these are the little stepping stones along the way, all very time sensitive. You can see we start here in the current semester with these two. 1 year later we have these two. And then 5 years later we have these two. You may have noticed that each of these goals has a little CO, 1 or 2 next to it, and that relates to these career objectives up here. Some of them have both. But just how do we achieve these goals? Well, how about professional development? You see, it's all about improvement. And the best way to track improvement is with documentation. Over here, I've broken it down into 2 little methods here, academic and career. Academic, I already have a couple things here, and career, you see I'm well on my way to building that road. But there's more road ahead, and well, luckily, I planned for that too. So these are my graduation plans. You can see over here on the left, these are my semesters, and then over here on the right, these are the classes I'll be taking during those semesters. And down here at the bottom, I even have a little contingency plan just in case something goes wrong. It's always best to be prepared, right? Well, I'm sure you'll see this again in my resume. So for my resume, we have a trendy option over here, a social media, LinkedIn account. And then for the more traditional sense, we have a PDF form of the resume. But what's this 3 doing here? Well, that's a reminder that I didn't start this way. It's a way to stay humble and to keep myself grounded in the present. But if we're speaking of the present, then how about something related? Here's a current article, a current day problem that I have looked at and wrote a little bit of a summary on. Here's the article up at the top, and here's the summary. In this case, it's a group called MageCart, and, well, they're up to their old tricks. I hope you enjoy reading through that. I did make it a little humorous. But overall, it tells of a very common problem that we're seeing nowadays that doesn't seem to want to go away. I figure I better stay on top of this so that I know how to counter it if it should show up in my line of work. But you know, it's not always just going to be me out there, and sometimes it's best to work in a group. Here in my professional development class, we've had numerous group projects that we've worked on together. This big one here, this would be the first. This was a big infographic that I worked on, and if you like the design, well, that was mostly me. You could say I was a bit of the creative director for this one. After the infographic, we worked on this one, this little rover AI project. Now this was a technical communication and workplace protocols project. Very long and a lot of pieces to it. Our group, we decided to do robo-dogs. Oh, it was quite fun. I've never had a group that works so well together. I have pleasant memories of this one. You can find my contributions way at the bottom near the legal stuff. After that one, we had an e-portfolio rubric. This very e-portfolio reading. We students had to design the rubric for that. I suppose they trusted us enough to know what we were doing. In this case, you'll notice that it's an Excel sheet. If you go through that, you'll see that it's got conditional formatting and formulas, and that's all me. So if you like the colors and you like the way the numbers change around, well, that's me. But sure, I know how to use these Microsoft products, sure. Well, these aren't the only ones, because Outlook is one of them. And sure enough, I've had some Outlook training. All done here in this semester. You can see I've sent and received messages. I know how to manage these messages. I can use the in-house calendar and manage contacts and groups. It's all there. Now when it comes to actually collecting certifications, I've already begun. I know it may not seem very impressive right now, but I am just starting after all. Here in this one, this would be my PC Technician from Test Out certification. It's not the CompTIA Plus, but I'm still working on that one. I'll have it soon enough. And I could never have made it as far as I have without a bit of help, so I'm pleased to show that others have felt the same way about me. Here we have references from some of my fellow classmates. As time goes on and I find more friends, I'm sure I'll be filling this one up much more fully. But, even my professors have weighed in. Here are some very official looking letters of recommendation. I'm very happy to have these. They've all put so much faith in me. I'm real determined not to let any of them down. And that about does it. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this walkthrough. If you have any questions or you want to know more, please do not hesitate to contact me further. Thank you. Bye now.